This tutorial is based upon task 6 in your higher spreadsheet booklet and focuses on the skills of Sumif. It's quite a large spreadsheet compared to what you've used before, but with formula, even a big spreadsheet, even a really large spreadsheet can be manipulated relatively easily. So what we have here are details about cars. We have where the owners live, the number, the make of the car, the engine size, the colour and price. And all we're looking for each time is a value. So we want to find the value of cars on each street. So we click on FX and we go to Sumif. Again, as before, if Sumif isn't on your list, delete the text in this box, type in Sumif, click go and it will find it for you. So our expression builder. What we're looking for first of all is our criteria. So our criteria is the name of the street. As before, the range is where all these entries are, and all these entries are in column A. So we highlight from A3 to A46. Again, don't forget absolute cell reference, the A3 to the A46. And the sum range. Remember, the sum range is where your values are, it's where your numbers are, it's where the street name and the value can be linked together. So in this case, the only values are in column F. So we highlight from F3 down to F46. Don't forget absolute cell reference. Push OK. And again, you copy it down the column. Now we don't copy it all the way down, we copy it to the end of the names of the streets, because after that point your value stops being relevant. Now, the next variable we're dealing with is colour. We want to find the value of each colour of cars. What is the value of the silver cars, the value of the white cars, so on and so forth. So as before, click on FX, it's a sum if, and our criteria is colour. So our criteria in the first instance is silver. Now the range is where you want to look for all the colours of the cars. So that is column E. So highlight from E3 down to E46. Don't forget the absolute cell reference. And as before, the sum range is the only place that contains any numbers, the only place that contains anything we can add together, and that is the purchase price. So for sum range, again we use F3 all the way down to F46. Again, don't forget the absolute cell reference, otherwise you'll not be able to copy the formula. Okay, and again we just copy it on down. So again, this Sumif was counting the value of cars based upon a particular colour. Okay, so far we've tried to use two variables. We've dealt with colour and we've dealt with street names. Now we're going to deal with variables where we can use expressions like greater than, less than or equal to. So this one is about engine size. So the first one is anything that's greater than or equal to 1500. So again, we click on our FX, wrong one, click on our FX, go to Sumif, and our criteria is anything that is greater than or equal to 1500 engine. So that's the criterion. The range, because it's 1500, in this case, looking at the spreadsheet, it's all about engine size. Now, even if you didn't know anything about cars, you could have guessed that the 1500 was based upon engine size. So our range, this is where we want to look. This is column D. So from D3 all the way down to D46. Absolute cell reference. And the sum range, as it was before, is going to be column F all the way down from the very bottom to the top. Don't forget the absolute cell reference, otherwise it won't work. It won't copy down. OK, and then we get our answer. Now, although I said it won't copy down, in this case we're not actually copying down, we're going to do a separate one entirely. Now, more or less an identical formula that we just used. Sum if, in this case our criteria is less than 1500. The range is again your engine size. D3 and D46. And as with your previous entries, the formula range, the sum range, is always the same as column F. It's the only area with any values we can actually add together. So just to clear up a little bit of mistake there, now engine size. So engine size D3 D46, and our sum range is F3 to F46. I started to type it in because generally the bigger the spreadsheet was quite difficult to manage keying this in on a laptop, so it was easier just to do it manually rather than try and click on some cell references. So as before, we have our range of less than 1500. We've got from D3 to D46, which is the column that contains engine capacity, and your sum range from F3 to F46. Again, as before, you push OK, and you'll get your answer. Now the last one, carbon copy of what we've done previously. The only difference criteria is that it's a make of car. So all this task does for you is give you lots of practice in running sum ifs. So we've got a criteria, which is Renault, H18. Our type of car, that will be C3 to C46. And don't forget your absolute cell reference. Well, ignore that, that was just a little typo on the keyboard. So sum if, criteria is a Renault, the range C3 to C46, F4 for both of them, and the range as it was before, F3 to F46. And again, we'll absolute cell reference these two. So again, it's looking for the value of all the Renaults. We copy that down, and because we didn't absolute cell reference the criteria, you can use it in all of your columns now. Just a little formatting, because our values are formatted for currency in 2 decimal places. You just follow that and do it as we did before. Currency and 2 decimal places. So a wide variety of sum if skills. We used names, we used numbers, and as you can see, the more you do it, it does get much more straightforward.